that was a great Friday night.
That
boogie,
was a
wasn't it?
great Friday night. It's Friday night and everybody's here for the weekend. How's everybody? How's everybody?
Hello.
Are we all doing good out there, are we? How are you good? How are you doing, Viv and Lois?
Yep, all good. How's you, handsome?
Very good, thank you very much. All the better for seeing you. And how are you, young Viv?
I'm fine. I've had a busy couple of days.
Busy.
And I've got a busy weekend coming up. And after this weekend, I can chillax a little bit, really.
The exciting weekend, especially for you, particularly for you. Because not only are you going out tomorrow night, but you've also got a special occasion that you're going to be attending on Sunday.
Oh, yes, going to see my husband.
You're going to see your second husband.
Going to see my husband. But more importantly, I was at the beach at the weekend and I saw jellyfish that apparently they're in the middle of a migration.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there were some black jellyfish.
Hi, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
Hi, buddy.
And some see-through jellyfish, like very lovely patterns. But, I felt sorry for the children that were there. I mean, luckily the kids haven't broken up from school, so they can walk on the beach with the parents. But you couldn't go barefoot on that beach in case you trod on them.
No. They're lovely. We've got moon jellyfish, haven't we, around the coast of Britain, which are those translucent ones that you were talking about, which are absolutely stunning. But, yeah, they're beautiful. I did look into keeping them once, but when I realised how hard and intricate and how in-depth you needed to be to look after them, I thought, I'm going to let nature do it. I'm not going to get involved in that.
Well, if you ever get stung by a jellyfish, just get somebody to pee in your leg.
Apparently, it's the case. I got arrested for that last time I went around the beach asking young ladies to pee on my leg.
Indecent exposure it is.
It was. I was wearing a Mac at the time. So good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Friday night chat at the Frightners. That's right, we've got a different title this weekend, or this week even. We are now called, well, not now called, we're called the Frightners, which is our Friday night moniker. And
sorry.
Apparently it's going to be about boogieing. It's going to be about boogeymen. Get down on boogeymen. It's going to be boogie. But we're going to be chatting about things scary. Now, Viv.
Mr. Bones does his Friday night DJ set, you see, because
everyone's
getting ready for the weekend. So
I saw it. Fat boy, very slim.
Fat boy, very slim Bones.
Yeah, exactly.
All we need is a glow sticks. The glow sticks.
Oh, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? Hi, William. I hope you're doing well, my friend.
Hi, William.
So, just when you thought it was safe to come out of the weekend, you've got the same three faces on. As what is it they say? Different name, same crap. I think that's what they say.
But you know what?
I hope everybody's doing well out there, and I hope everybody's got a good weekend to look forward to.
I think tonight would be nice if we sort of just get to know a little bit more about Lois and who she is, what she does, where she's from, and what Lois is about. But before we do that, while Jamie's not here, shall we just chat shit about Jamie?
Oh, yeah, I can't stand him. I
can't stand him myself.
We're going to have a coup. We're going to get rid of him.
He might be on a bit later, so get ready to take your seasickness tablets now.
What, you mean this? It's like the Blair Witch Project, isn't it? With an idiot. One idiot and a camera. The Blair Witch Project.
Do you know, I used to know this guy. It was a cameraman, and I seen his work, and he spent more time. He was too busy, like, we investigating, and he was staring in the floor. He's like,
really?
Oh, that was funny.
I love that. When they say, Carl, you got to watch this. We videoed it. You got to watch it, and you spend 20 minutes looking at a brick. And it's like, or someone's shoes.
Before I come on, I was watching this thing, and it was called Oklahoma's Police Chase. So I'm expecting, oh my God, it's going to be brilliant. It was 3 copper cars sitting in a field with like a vehicle just sitting there. And I'm fast forwarding, right, where's the chase? It was based in the field, and they were just sitting there for an hour and 20 minutes.
I love it. I love it.
You think that they would cut it to where the action is and just go from there. But no.
Do you know what? I think the funniest one of
Or
the, I know I'm going off topic a bit, but the funniest one of those I saw was it was an American police chase camera thing. And this guy was on this motorbike and he was being a complete arse. And he was cutting people up and he was going zipping down the road. So the coppers got up behind him. And as he's got up behind him, the camera's gone black and you've heard crash. And then the camera came back on and this bloke's laying there with a pair of broken legs. And the cop went, I don't know what happened. He went, he just knocked me off the bike.
It's crazy, isn't it?
This is going to be a long Frightners night.
So Frightners. Why did we come up with Frightners then? It's one of my favourite paranormal films.
Your fault.
Yeah,
I love the name. I do really love the name.
It's anybody remember the Michael J. Fox comedy, the Frightners, which I thought was actually a really good film. But then I'm a big fan of Michael J. Fox anyway. I love all of his stuff.
So in Frightners, there was a guy that was a ghost. He played a ghost, and he had a thick black moustache and a big black afro hair.
That was one of his mates from the 70s, wasn't it?
So I had a friend called Frank, and he's passed away now, and he was a spitting image of that guy, and he was from Iran, and he had the big afro hair and a moustache.
That's very 70s, isn't it?
And he said, come round to my house. He said, I'm going to premiere my new film, and he'd got it on video. And we all went round there after the pub, like Frank's got this film that he's supposed to be premiering. Like, apparently he was really serious. We got round there and he put on Frightners.
That was a great film, though. Frightners was a great film. But I'm going to have a watch of it the weekend now when I get the chance, if I get the chance.
Hopefully,
chill down.
Ghostbusters is brilliant as well.
Ghostbusters is superb. The thing I like about Ghostbusters as well is it doesn't take it seriously, does it?
No.
It kind of makes fools of the people that think that they're something special, which I like the idea of that.
I used to think it was like they had Dysons on their back.
It was, more or less was, though. More or less was.
So in Frightners, didn't people have the number on their forehead?
Yes, there was. The guy was the serial killer, wasn't he? And back in the 60s, maybe 50s or something. And it was him and his girlfriend, and they felt that he was the one that controlled his girlfriend and manipulated her, and she was as much a victim as the people that got murdered. But it turns out that they were working together, and she kept his ashes, didn't she, in the wardrobe? And of course, he was hanging around her, and she was going around, and they were going like 42, and you saw somebody with the number 42, and that was their next victim. And they wanted to beat Bundy, they wanted to beat all of the famous ones, or infamous ones.
So we should have a number. We shouldn't be known by our names. We should have a number.
Just know by number.
You have to pick a number.
Good film.
I don't know if I can change my name to a number.
That's what you call it. What's it called? The one in Wales. I'm not a number. I'm a free man.
Oh. Well, I'll put my number up.
26. You will be victim 26 then.
How do you do it, Viv?
So you go into the box with the 3 dots, and it says edit name.
No. No, because I
The Prisoner. Thank you, Gary Bradfield. Thank you, buddy. The Prisoner. Hello, Chantal. Chantal in the house for a Friday night.
Whoop.
Chantal in the house.
DJ, play a song for Chantal.
It's like that.
What number do you want to be, Lois?
Well, it's a private, it's family time telly, so I can't say
69, isn't it, Lois? It's 69, Lois. Yeah.
It's 666.
Hang on. Lois is being a dirty woman. I see if I can do it for her.
Dirty woman.
Walking down the street, dirty woman.
If ever there was one, Chantal, you deserve that kind of greeting.
Definitely.
Hang on.
Friday night is going. What was that?
That's that. What's your number, Dan?
I haven't got a number. I'm a free man.
I'll choose a number for you.
489,752 and a half.
I just shortened that
I'm
down.
the murderer. Right? I'm the murderer. I'm not the number. I am the murderer.
You got a number now.
49.
49. Yeah, I wish I was 49.
You're only 21, Dan.
Oh, I wish I was. I feel it. Well,
it's 49.
physically, I don't.
It's number 49. That means I go before Dan, and Dan goes. I always go first when it's scary.
What number?
Put Jamie down as number 1. Number 1.
Friday night's a ghosty night, definitely.
Talking of ghosties, right? Number 69. Let's probe you a bit, shall we?
Who Mrs.?
It sounds like we're choosing for a Chinese menu, but we're having for dinner.
Been a long time since I've seen those numbers, William, on my body.
Yeah, he's model material, is our William.
He is, indeed.
Well, we've chosen numbers, and whatever the reason, Lois wins the end.
We're choosing them because if you look at the name, Chantal, of the Frightners is the name of this group now for Friday nights, and the Frightners is one of my favourite films with Michael J. Fox in, and it was kind of a comedy stroke serious. Because didn't the guy came as the Reaper, didn't he? He used to appear as the Reaper. Do you remember the serial killer?
Was he no? Mind you, I've not actually seen the film. I'll need to see it.
Oh, it's great! It's a really great film.
This is an R-rated show.
only where Lois is concerned.
Yeah, we're angelic and Viv.
So, right, Lois, are we going to probe Lois a little bit and find out a bit about her? Shall we take it in turns to ask her a question, and people in the chat, if you want to know anything about Lois, now's your chance.
Oh.
So, Lois, first question.
Yes.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I do, but I believe that, I do believe in ghosts, but at the same time, I'm quite a logical thinker as well. So, but yeah, I do.
Dan, your turn.
What?
Ask her a question. It's been all right, Pugsley.
I'm being a pain on a Friday night. I know what Friday night. I got Friday night fever.
In fact, before Dan asked me a question, yes, Dan, I will go out on a date with you.
There you go. See, that's it. That's all done. It's done. It's done. And can we adopt Parker?
Aye, why not?
Are you sorting out a threesome? What's going on?
No, Parker's got. No, Parker's got. No, we need. What's it called? What do they call it when you have a?
You want Parker to watch?
Well, no. When you not adopt. What's the other thing? Not adopt. What do they call it when you look after children?
Foster care.
Foster care, because we get money for that. So we'll get money for that, and we can go out and like hoi polloi it while he stays at home doing the washing.
I know you're called Dogman Dan, but this is taking it one step too far. Talking about hoi polloying it in a car park in the forest, most probably, for all I know.
Definitely, it's got to be done.
Right, so Lois's question, Dan, come on.
Right, okay. How long have you been interested in the paranormal, Lois? And that's 2 questions, really. Just that one will do.
How long? Really? I would say really for a young age, but back then you really couldn't tell them, because people would like mock you. A lot of folk I used to go to school, they would like sort of mock you about like stuff like that. And I guess when I got older, I lost a lot of people that I grew up with, and I just thought life's too short, and then I just decided to go for it, and start looking into it. And I had an experience that I can remember when I was 4, and my mum put me to bed that night, and when I woke up during the night, there was a man at the bottom of my bed covered in blood, pointing a shotgun at me, and I let out a scream, and when the light went on, he was gone. and that's always stuck with me.
Did you ever find out any significance of that, or
No,
well, it
do you know?
wasn't somebody that you knew or the family knew?
No,
Or
it was just a stranger I didn't even know, and it was the fact that, like, when I was younger, I used to talk to, like, people. Well, to me it was people, but my mum would take me to the doctor, and the doctor's listening, oh, she's just a typical child. So it was like just talking to people and things like that.
see, that's
Oh,
interesting, isn't it?
oh,
This typical
I'm getting
child.
excited. Oh,
What
right, I'm throwing a new disc on here. I'm being
Why?
DJ tonight.
what
Here's
is
a
your
question.
favourite piece of equipment? Please make it paranormal equipment.
It's the whip.
Well,
It's the whip. Sorry.
well, whips, chains, you know,
If anything like that, your general run of the mill stuff.
things that vibrate, you know, paranormal equipment. K2 meter, I'm quite the cute. And then there's well shit. And then you've got like there's the Panasonic EV player. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I really love that. And honestly, if I get a lottery win, that's the first thing that's thing me. But to be honest, equipment wise, I'm not really good with equipment. I prefer just using my own senses.
I think that's the best way to go, to be honest with you, Lois.
Yeah.
I think your own senses are the best.
Do you
All
know
the
what,
equipment in
Dan?
the world is not going to prove anything for you.
If we win the lottery, we're buying Spectre. And we're
Yeah,
gonna
that'd be cool.
And then we
Williams,
investigate naked.
that'd be cool. Williams put a good question up.
Oh, I'm trying to get to him, William. There he is.
Have I ever used a spirit board? Nope. It's
Oh.
not that I don't. I mean, I would love to, right? Because
I've got
everybody
two
else
up there.
has done it, and I've never ever done it. But I'm a big believer in you have to respect the board. You can't, like, I've seen many drunk people. Oh, I love that. That's freaking cool.
This is not my board. This is not my board. This is Norman Fahy's board. But I've also got a sprung Ouija board.
Oh,
Was that young Norman's, was it?
Young Norman's board.
Young Norman.
oh wow.
Oh, bless him.
But I'm a firm believer in obviously having respect for the board, like you would have respect if you were out ghost hunting and things. And things like that.
That's when we're with Mark and Wayne. Wayne Seed and Mark Manley. We need those.
And David Young. It's got me
And
antenna
David.
on. So I can receive communication. So I've got a question for you, Lois.
Yes.
So, and this is going to be hard. So you've got a minute to think about it, because I'll go first and ask Dan, and then we'll come to you.
Right.
You have to name names. Somebody you love in the paranormal and somebody you can't stand in the paranormal. Let's go ghost hunting, right? To make it easy. It has to be ghost hunting. So for me, who I love and I think is hilarious, purely for the reason that he's mad as a box of frogs, but he's interesting at the same time, is David Oman.
Yes.
Somebody I hate in the paranormal, and I can't stand them. As a person,
I'll get me coat.
No, it's Jack Osborne. Over to you, Dan.
Yeah. Is it going to be somebody who's alive or dead? Can it be
alive?
They've got to be alive. Okay, so somebody I really love in the paranormal. You, Viv.
You hate?
No, love.
Oh, I love you.
So Viv, without a shadow of a doubt, the person I love most in it. And somebody I don't like. Yvette Fielding.
Ooh.
Can't stand her.
So who do you love then? Come on, you've got to pick someone. Not
you.
Me or Lois. Not me or Lois. Pick somebody else that you got like that you love and why.
Somebody I really admire is I love Richard Felix.
Hey. I'm only joking.
I love Richard Felix. I think Richard Felix is an absolutely lovely man.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that with Richard, he's what you get is what you see is what you get, and he's just plain speaking. He's amazing. His enthusiasm is just off the scale, and yeah, I love him to pieces. I think he's great.
In other words, he's a nutcase.
He's a lunatic, which I love. He's eccentric, which I love. But then I also love all of those people like that. You know.
What about you?
Sorry, go on, Lois.
Well, my turn. I'm going to be really honest. I don't watch ghost shows.
Hi, Kelly.
It could be anyone in the paranormal. Absolutely
anyone. I'll start with the love. I absolutely adore and worship Jacqueline Dixon. I've been a private investigator. We've been best pals. I can't use you guys because I love you guys as well. Hate wise, oh wow.
Strong.
It's a strong word, isn't it? Hate. I don't like Yvette Fielding. I don't know her.
This one's going to be hanging. The one that I don't like, and I have my reasons, is Gob.
Yeah, we know that.
I can't stand them. The name did shame me as a troll. I'll be really brutally honest and open about that.
Really?
Because they did a 2.5-hour show naming trolls, and it was like people you wouldn't believe. It was like naming everybody nearly in the paranormal world, right? I had seen a picture of Lindsay and Lee, and I didn't realise that Lindsay. I don't know if that's feedback in mine. I don't know if you can hear that.
Mine.
No, you say you seem all right.
So I seen a picture of Lindsay, but I didn't realise that she was older than Lee, and I had made you know me, I'm quite witty, so I turned around and said if it was like a picture of them both, I think they were doing a show really, and I turned around and merely said that if I was Lindsay, I would take that picture because she looks awful old in it. It looks like Lee's mother. And I didn't realise that she was actually much older than Lee. So I get even shamed as a troll.
Oh God! I get people tell me.
Are you still there?
Yeah.
Oh, can
you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You just kind of froze there. So yes.
Oh, sorry.
So you can see, and do you know it's the first time I've ever been named as a troll. So.
Oh, William says Arthur C. Clarke is the man for my admiration.
Yeah, I like Arthur C. Clarke. I loved Arthur C. Clarke.
No,
fundamentally for me.
Nick Newlay's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nick Newlay is a lovely, lovely guy.
Yeah. We've adopted Nick as our son.
Yeah.
I don't know about the word love in a paranormal world, and hate is a strong word. I agree, Dan. Yvette Fielding, I tried contacting her for chat, but up until now, she keeps very quiet with me. I think she does that with everyone. I think she even does that with Richard, doesn't she?
She does it with everybody. Everybody. People that, well.
Right, I saw a question, and I can't find it now. I'm trying to scroll and find it. But it came from Paranormal
Just put hello to Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
Oh,
hi, Kelly.
It's Paranormal Insights asking what's Spectre.
Yes, Dan. Do you want to tell him what that is?
We're allowed to now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Right. Spectre is a piece of kit that was developed by my brain's
Chad. I don't know Chad's surname. It's just Chad.
No, it's Chad, isn't it?
Chad and Ross.
Yeah, Ross Allison and Chad. I can't think. Please forgive me, Chad. I can't remember your surname. But they developed a piece of kit that enabled you to pick up on, touch. Touch is a very, very significant thing in the paranormal, and you know that when you've been touched, there was no way of proving it. Well, now there is, because they've developed a piece of equipment called Spectre, and what it does is it analyzes the core temperature, I think, of the body, and it analyzes the outside temperature of the body and the outside temperature around the body. So what happens is, before, we've all been touched, we've all been, stroked or put arm around you or what have you, or had the hand go through your hair, but there was no way of proving it. But with this piece of equipment now, it works in such a way, it almost brings everything into a 3D effect, so that when you get touched, you don't have to mention it. The piece of kit picks up on where you've been touched, and then it feeds it through a computer program, and then it shows up on a scan where you've been touched. And then the person says, I've just been touched on my neck. Well, we already know that because we've seen it on the scan. Or I've just been touched on my arm. We already know that because we've seen it on the scan. So that it's in real time. When somebody says, I'm being touched, and we've all been around people or we've had it happen ourselves, you can guarantee, it's more or less guaranteed now. Now, they've gone into, I'm not going to talk too much about it because A, it's not my field, B, it's not my baby. And I've got a lot of admiration for the guys for Ross Allison and Chad and the way that they're developing it. But it is an amazing piece of kit, and I am going to go out there on a limb, not even on a limb, I don't think, because I'll guarantee you this is what he's done. Ross Allison and Chad have got the paranormal world where it was stayed, and it became almost, they pushed it forward. They've really, really given it a push forward, and they're starting on the second round now of experiments, and apparently it's met with some great results. And because I've been following them, it's met with some great results, and they did some filming and they did some experiments last night and the night before, and it's now opened up a new element that they can now prove. So yeah, it's exciting stuff. It's very exciting stuff. And we love Ross Allison, don't we, Viv? He's a personal friend of ours.
Yeah.
We absolutely adore him and admire him and love him. And yeah, he's a good guy, thoroughly good guy, and Chad are geniuses.
Dan, where's your fan sitting at? Have you got a fan blowing?
I have. It's right behind me. Do you want me to move it?
That's what I can hear. I'm thinking it's me.
I know. I was thinking it was me as well, and then I'm thinking.
Do you want me to move it, or do you want me to move it? Is that any better?
Yeah, that's better. Can't hear it.
It will come back, I think, but can you hear it again?
Yeah. No.
Is that all right?
Bad.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So so that's
hot stuff.
Hot stuff. It's muggy, isn't it? It's very muggy here tonight.
It's not muggy here.
Is it not? It's bloody muggy here. I think we're for a storm, actually.
Do you know your Friday night song by DJ Bones should be looking for some hot stuff, baby, this evening. You could strip while you're doing it and do the actions.
The Monster Mash.
Where my camera phone? I need to grab it.
First record was ever bought for me. That was
Hot Stuff.
No, Monster Mash. It was the Monster Mash. It was a graveyard smash.
Oh yeah.
That and Donny Osmond, I think. No, not Donny. Jimmy Osmond. Was it Jimmy? Who was the little one? Who was the young one? Was it Jimmy? Was the young one?
Jimmy.
Was it Jimmy's the little one when he had a Tourette Jekyll back in the 70s? Back in the day.
What was your first record, Lois?
Oh wow. I think it was one of the Nows. It was like Now. I can't even remember. It was one of the Nows because I used to be, but I'm more see, when growing up, I was growing up like, wow, that's the fan again.
That's the fan, Dan. Move the fan.
Oh, is it? Let's move it.
I was growing up around 50s to 80s music, Oasis, Blur, things like that, and I feel like sometimes I'm like an older spirit trapped in a younger body because of some of the things it's like I'm into, like the 50s to 80s music. I absolutely adore that. I absolutely adore, the old TV programs, the old films.
Films, I love it. Films. I love the way she says films. Sorry.
Where do you hear when I say Pacific? I'll try to say Pacific.
My first record I got for Christmas when I was 7. My mum bought me a little record player and an album. and that album was David Essex, I'm Gonna Make You a Star. And I
Oh,
cried.
blimey.
Oh,
I
wow.
cried because I didn't like David Essex. I wanted Gary Glitter. So with the Christmas money I got,
Probably not as much as he would have wanted you.
well, she took me down to Woolworths, and together we bought a Gary Glitter album that we opened up, and it had him like this with his arms and legs spread open.
I bet he did.
So Gary
Oh,
Glitter,
wow.
but David Essex. My mum liked him, and she wanted me to like him. It weren't going to happen, mate. I didn't like
The
him.
first album I ever bought, I went over to Enfield, and I had a bit of money. I was only a kid, and the first album I ever bought was "Never Mind the Bollocks" by the Sex Pistols.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I used to work with a guy who absolutely loved the Sex Pistols and had absolutely all the memorabilia, like every album.
Brilliant.
Even when you could get it on the one where you could just sit the disc down and put the the thing on.
Oh, yeah.
And drop down, yeah.
Do you remember the old they used to singles? They used to think about the floppy singles. Do you remember those? Like they were like a cellophane, weren't they? Like a thick cellophane-y. Bloody hell.
I used to remember the internet when you could never use internet with the phone. If somebody rang, your internet get cut off.
You were stuffed, weren't you?
I remember, and I think there might be one in my loft, but I can't play it. It's an old record that you put on, and it's a man's voice speaking, and he's telling you a ghost story.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and that was in my nan had it, and when we cleared out the house, I just took what they were throwing out.
I wonder where that was from. I wonder who that was then, Viv.
I don't know, but you used to get prayers and people talking or telling you news or telling you something important on records. And I know that they used to do that in America as well at some point. It wasn't just here over in England. But I think you have to have a special record or player to play it. But anyhow, we're digressing. We're digressing. So, if money wasn't a problem, okay, and you could hire a building. I can hear your fan again, Dan.
Sorry, I can't.
And you can hire a building anywhere in the world, haunted or not, for you to go and investigate with you and your best mate. Where would you hire and why? And it's to both of you.
Me as well?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, the Birdcage.
What, the pub down in Chiswick High Road?
No, but the Birdcage. That's the one, yeah. Dave owns it. The in Tombstone, Arizona. The Birdcage, Tombstone, Arizona.
So many to choose from. My main one that I would really, really love to go to, and I would honestly, if I had the money, I'd buy the place, would be the Waverley Sanatorium. I feel like I've got a connection there for some reason. I've got like a connection to America somehow. Don't know, maybe past life or whatever, but I'm fascinated with the Waverley Sanatorium. I really would love, and I've heard a lot of people saying how big it actually is. The pictures don't do it justice. Apparently, it's really huge. And I was like, definitely.
I think if I could, and it's not a building as such, but I would like to go to the heads, those heads on Christmas Island.
Oh, the Easter Islands. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to go and investigate them. So it's not necessarily a ghost hunt, but more of a dowsing expedition to see if they really would talk to us. Because apparently these things are supposed to talk.
Oh.
Apparently they go much further down to the Saturn, to the Earth, don't they? They're much bigger than we think they are. So
I'd love to go and investigate that. I think that would be like a dream expedition to the Easter Islands, going to the heads, because I think they're placed strategically. I can't even say that word. Strategically, and there's quite a few of them. Yeah, and there's quite a few of them. And William has said like everything has a vibration; it moves. Yeah, but I wonder if they could actually.
William, absolutely.
actually communication that's going on there, and it's actually telling us something. But there's something about those heads that I think is not normal, if you know what I mean.
I
In a
think
nice
there's
way,
a lot
normal.
of there's a lot of stuff on this planet, whether they be stone circles or what have you, that are telling us stuff through vibrations. But we're either not listening, or we haven't learned out. We've forgotten how to listen in a lot of cases. But I think that there's a lot of information that, you know, wise information that should come through them. That we're missing, sadly. But imagine how frustrating it must be for that energy to try and contact you, to try and communicate with you, and all of a sudden you're not on the same wavelength.
I can only imagine.
It must be horrific for them.
Where's
Terrible
Parker? I'm just going to check where Parker is. Right, your question, Dan, for Lois.
If you could investigate with anybody from the paranormal world, like famous, who would you be your preference?
Famous one? I can't even think of one. Anyone famous? Only because I think how hot he is Zach Baggins.
Really?
That's as good a reason as Annie, to be fair. That's as good a reason as Annie.
But I know it's a fan. It's not even.
Oh, is it that bloody fan? Sorry, I'm trying to.
We've lost Lois. Lois has got stuck. She got stuck.
She's back.
I think it's that on Facebook so that I've had enough of her X-rated on this show tonight. She's getting
Yeah, but we've calmed down now. We calmed down for
10 minutes.
That's it.
So what about you, Dan, then? Who would yours be?
To investigate with?
Yeah.
Alive or dead, though, you see? I have this problem with
it's got to be alive. Alive.
God, that's a really hard one, isn't it? There's a lot of people I'd like to investigate with, but I think their ego's a bit too big to be wanting to be around that type of person. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of them are absolute geniuses. A lot of very, very intelligent people.
Not a musician or a famous actor or somebody you admire.
Do you know what? I've never been one for idols. I mean, I've got one idol, as you know, but I've never really been one for idols as such. Always, William. No, I've never really been one for idols. I've been very much never been impressed by fame and stuff like that. But
I'll tell you who I would, and you're going to laugh at me. Is the person I would go ghost hunting with would be, because you know what I'm like when I get scared, Dan, right?
I know you're going to suggest.
But I think the funniest thing ever would be me and Louis Spence investigating together. Now, if you don't know who Louis Spence is, he's a dancer for the Pineapple Dance Studio. He's a choreographer. He is gay, not that that makes any difference, but he also speaks with a lisp. So me and Louis Spence together, screaming our heads off, both running in different directions, I think would make for a great investigation, especially if we were locked in.
My guess would have been wrong. I thought you'd have gone for Rylan.
I would like Rylan, but for the laughter and just for the sheer fright of things, and I think he would frighten me and make a situation worse. So, but it would be funny.
Blind.
Well, in that sense, I would probably have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnston or Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
If I was
right. So the same question, Dan and Lois, but now from anyone that has now passed
Harry Price.
Okay, I thought you'd say him.
Harry Price, without doubt. I idolise him.
I'm trying to think. 3 people that passed away. Sean Locke would be one. Sean
I
Locke.
love Sean Locke.
I absolutely love Sean Locke. So
Love Sean Locke.
he just, everything about Sean Locke makes me laugh. We've got the same sense of humour and wit.
See, for me, it would be somebody like I'd have two, because it's either or. If one couldn't make it, I'd have the other. It would be Christopher Lee, the man that played Dracula, or it would be Boris Karloff, the man that played the Mummy. So, and
Went to
I
my
know that.
school.
Yeah, but I know that their acting skills and they're playing these characters is just acting. But I know for a fact that Boris Karloff did believe in ghosts and the afterlife, and he liked everything occult. I know that. But it would be interesting with Christopher Lee, because I think I thought that he was a very methodical, deep thinker type of man. So he would try and rationalize everything, and I'm not scared of anything. I'm Dracula,
Hasn't
don't you
he
know?
got the world's? Isn't it Christopher Lee? I think has got the world's most extensive most extensive library on parapsychology and on the occult.
I don't know.
I think he has. He's got a massive, extensive library on the occult and stuff.
He had a lot of dimensions to him, that man, Christopher Lee. He also was in a band, a heavy metal band with Man of War. Do you remember that band, Man of War?
Yeah, I do remember, yeah.
He released a few singles with them, and he
do.
also did his ghost stories, and
Yeah.
there's lots of things with Christopher Lee that people are, well, they don't care, they don't want to know. You know, the guy played Dracula and he's dead and move on, sort of thing. But
Yeah,
he left a big legacy behind.
He did. Boris Karloff come from Enfield.
Yeah, he did. And then he moved
where I was born, and he went to the same school as me, actually.
Yeah, then he bought a house.
Different times.
When he became famous, he moved it and bought a nice big house in Kensington. Oh, how the other half lives, eh?
Lots of money. Oh, yeah.
That's the problem.
Oh, who would you like to make contact with? Dead person.
If I'm really honest, this one would be personal. It would be my papa or my gran, my mum's mum.
Yeah. What about you, Dan?
What famous person would be Sean Locke? Definitely, I'm Sean Locke daft.
Yeah. If it was a famous person, for me, it'd be Harry Price. For someone famous would be Harry. But he's famous to me. He's globally known as a ghost hunter. But I'd like to be able to sit down and have a chat with Harry Price.
Do you know who I would like to contact through a spirit box, or I've already had contact in a funny roundabout way. I can't explain that because that is private. But I would like to contact somebody like Doris Stokes. Doris Stokes was a woman that I looked up to, that I actually learnt from, and somebody who actually taught me how to enhance my skills and what I was going through her books. Never got to meet the woman, and absolutely amazing to me. She was Britain's world class medium, and and healer, if you like. So for me, it would be somebody like Doris Stokes. I know that American people wouldn't know who she is, but she's brought out books. You can buy them, still in publication. But to me, she's more than just somebody famous that I would have liked to have met.
She's been gone a while, hasn't she? She's been gone quite a while.
Big inspiration. So Doris Stokes for me.
Did she not die the year before me? Before I was born in 1988? Well, she would have been 1987.
I'm not sure how long ago she died. Yeah, she's been gone a while.
Well, long while, hasn't she? I used to have some of her books. And
Voices in My Ear. Voices in My Ear was one of them, yeah.
Yeah, she's an interesting lady. Very interesting woman. Yeah, she's interesting.
Charles Dickens believed in ghosts too.
He did indeed. He did.
Did Shakespeare believe as well? Wasn't there some sort of record of him having a ghostly interaction and then employing that into one of his plays that
Yeah,
he wrote.
it was. What's it called? Bloody play now. It was the ghost when it was on the tower. The king. Oh, for God's sake!
Was it not for about Hamlet? It was from Hamlet, was it not?
I can't remember. It was one of the prince. Was it a Prince on the Tower? Not. I mean, in Denmark. I can't remember that. Bloody hell, was bad.
In fact, see if I remember rightly, was it no 5 William Shakespeare's plays that had ghosts in them? I'm sure it was Julius Caesar, Hamlet, Richard III, Macbeth, and the one that begins with a C that I can't pronounce.
William Southey's calling you Scrooge, Dan. You know him well. I tell you,
William's right. Absolutely spot on. I can't even argue. I can't argue with the man. He's absolutely right. Yes, you're right. Yeah, you were right. You're right, Lois. The 1987 she died. And yeah, I googled it. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's Doris Stowe's been a.
I think maybe Herodotus, some ancient historian, philosopher, priest, or leader of one of the earliest Mesopotamian area.
That would be interesting. Yeah. That would be interesting.
Wouldn't it be interesting to have a conversation with Julius Caesar, right? Through the spirit board. So is it right you put Jesus to death?
Or his friend?
Like? No. What was he like? What was he like?
Did he really
No, it would just like go, if you wanted to go real far back into history, try and get the truth. Or, what a Templar Knight, just any Templar Knight that went right back, way back, getting some insight from the Templars, not Templar hospitalers. You know what
Hospitaliers,
yeah. I know about.
Not them. Go back further than that. We'll go back right the way to the source of the Templars. What was all that about?
You need to find somebody who can understand them, though, wouldn't you? I mean, the language would be different, I guess.
Yeah, but didn't they live in the Middle East for a long time, the Templars?
They spent most of their lives out there, didn't they? It was Richard the Lionheart. I mean, he was born in France, wasn't he? He only came over here to raise funds for another crusade to go back to the Holy Land. And he hated England, Richard Lionheart. He couldn't stand it. I think there's long words that I want to get out of that wet sodden hole or something. He only came over here. He came over here to raise funds. But that's the thing. People don't realise that over here, even up into the medieval period, we all spoke French.
Aristotle. Wow. That's deep.
It is. I must admit, I would love to kind of go back to the time round, like Alistair Cowley and things like that, because I would be really interested in him. I didn't actually know about him until it came up in an investigation that there was a connection in Scotland, no Boleskine House, but another connection in Peebles. What they say about Peebles in Scotland is it's a witchcraft town, and they've got portals round in Peebles because it all report the same paranormal activity. And there was a connection to Alistair Cowley being at a hotel that I investigated, and I didn't even know who he was, to be honest, at the beginning. It was actually the first ever team that I went with. It was the owner of that told me.
You've got a house of his. I think it's up in Stirling, isn't it, Dan? Alistair Crowley's house.
Is that the one with the lock?
And didn't it got burnt recently?
That's Inverness. That's Boleskine House. Do you know what I find extraordinary? Right, is Jimmy Page bought that house, and fire happened, and fire had went on it as well. So that makes me think there's something about that. About Boleskine House. I would love to camp up there just for one night.
Didn't Jimmy Page lose his mind there slightly?
Somebody
had a breakdown there, didn't they? Or they were really bad.
Jimmy Page was fascinated with the occult. He loved all that, and he absolutely idolised Alistair Cowley. He had Alistair Cowley memorabilia. I know I can't say that word.
But to be fair, didn't Alistair Crowley? He turned out not to be a very nice man, and he influenced a lot of his entourage, crowd, followers, whatever you want to call them. He gave them all drugs and got them all riled up into this.
Well, they were the Golden
Yeah.
Dawn, weren't they? They were the Golden Dawn, which was set in London, wasn't it? There was quite a few of them that were involved.
He wasn't a nice man at all, and he used to. When I say rape, he would rape. He wasn't.
I don't know that much about him, to be honest. I know he was an interesting chap.
He was he's into sex magic and things like that. He was known as the wickedest man in the world.
Apparently, he named himself that.
Yeah, he wasn't. He named himself that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one of his famous sayings was, I'm a poet, and I like my lies the way my mother used to make them. One would go mad if one took the Bible seriously, but to take it seriously, one must be already mad. May the new year bring you courage to break your resolutions early. That's what the sort of man that Alistair Cowley was.
Do you know what? I studied him for a little while, tried to, and I bought the Book of the Book of Thelema and the Book of Lies. And I read the Book of Thelema, didn't understand it, picked up the Book of Lies, and I thought, this is the rantings of a madman. It's seriously, honestly, I thought in his time, Crowley was so dangerous with the power that he actually had and the power that he had over these people, because I think he was one of the first recorded that would brainwash, and people would go out and do stuff from him. And I know that he had a big war that battled with the Masons, the Masonic Lodge, over a property. So this little mini war went on with the Masons. The right person to ask about Aleister Crowley, I should imagine, would be William Southey, that's here in the chat. I'm putting him on a spot here.
He was actually, he called himself the Beast 666. That's what he liked to be known as.
But then,
narcissist, exactly.
But then I've heard other stuff about him as well. I know somebody who's actually a proper practicing, which I'm not saying that, you know, whatever it is isn't, but she's a proper practicing. She's what they call a hereditary witch. So it's been in her family's generations. And she said that he was a much misrepresented man, and that a lot of it was to do with the press. And to be honest with her, this woman's credible. This woman's completely credible, and I do trust what she says because I've known her for years. And I don't know. I'm not at liberty to say what because I don't know really much about him.
I know that from him, not his crowd of followers, because they were called something else, but from them and after his death, the Golden Dawn started then, and that happened. The Golden Dawn didn't start in England; it went to America, and it's an American thing.
The Golden Dawn's British with.
Oh, is it British?
It was started at what's called in London, and it was started by him and.
Didn't it go to New York, and they've got their offices in New York now today?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah. I know. I think it was during one of the World Wars that he immigrated to America. But Page bought his house in the 70s. That's because he had a driven interest in the worky occultism and magician of the black arts. He loved all that. But yeah.
Do you think he really did, or whether it was just narcissistic behaviour because he wanted to control people? If you can control people, then you get power.
A lot of it is about control, isn't it? But he did something that really the Third Reich, the only ones I think that the Third Reich did it, and he's the only one that I know of that did exactly the same thing, was that he took from different cultures. So he didn't just use alchemy, and he didn't just use magic that was of sort of Anglo-Saxon. He utilised energies that he utilised globally.
Ancient Egyptian,
from Arabic religions, and so he utilised it all and he mixed it up, and that's how he got. I mean, I don't know how powerful he was, but by all accounts, he was a very, very powerful man.
Dan,
magician.
Is he buried at Highgate?
I have no idea what happened to the chap.
Because I know that
idea.
They used to, a lot of the people used to go to Highgate and try and dig up the graves on something to do with Crowley. I don't know whether he's buried over there or that's.
I have
why
no
that
idea what happened to the man. I have no idea. Actually, that's quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
He was cremated.
That's what I'd heard, William.
Isn't he like sort of quite revered, like the work that he did? It was because I think he went mad at some stage, and whether it's the work before he went mad or the work after he went mad, or did the good stuff come after he? I don't get it.
I think a lot of it, from what is the same as it is today. It's the press maligning somebody. And I don't know enough about the man to warrant to have an opinion either way. But from what I can make out is it was a case that he was berated and he was not berated, but he was kind of maligned and slagged off. And so that was like, well, you know what? I'll play with it.
But do you know what? Media,
that's what they think I am.
Media does that, right? I've got a very, very strong view, right, when it comes to Satanism, right? My strong view of Satanism is that, you know what, each to their own, right? I like reading about Satanism, right? I'll no lie about it. I used to shy away from it where I don't know. But again, this comes back to media. If someone kills, right, I know you love animals, Dan, right? But this is just prime example, right? You could have people that go out and harm a sheep, right? We would call them evil bees, right? But how media would turn around and portray it as that people would portray it as Satanists done it.
Yeah.
Well, how the do you know they're Satanists?
Yeah.
What were they wearing? You know, and it gives Satanists bad names. What Satanism promotes you is it promotes you to live your life the way that you want it. And it depends on the person. People can use it, and it's the same as magic. People can use it in good ways. They can use it in bad ways. You know, and
the thing that gets me with it, Lois, is people say, "Oh, you know what? You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be buggering about with that. You shouldn't be doing this with magic." What's a prayer? Isn't a prayer a magic? Isn't it a spell?
Exactly.
That you're asking for something that's outside of your.
Yeah, I agree with William.
Yeah, you're right, William.
And I think that's 100%. People
you're right,
can have a theory or a thought behind it, but unless you understand it.
It's like I say, I don't know enough to proffer an opinion about the man, but from what I've heard from people that I do respect, is that he was an absolute genius when it came to a magician. He was superb.
Look, but people ridicule what they don't understand and what they don't do the proper research on, so they make an utter judgment. I mean, I'm into witchy stuff and I love the witchy path, you know, and the spiritual path as well. And there's been groups that I've been into, and I'll give you a laugh, right? Best one was when obviously I looked into Satanism, I didn't realise how many paths there was. So me being me, right, and as well when I was doing an investigation, Satanism was part of it. So I thought, right, I'll go onto Facebook and I'll look up some groups and see. So this one jumped out at me. So got accepted, did my thank you for the ad, blah blah blah. So I went on, and do you know what? I think I pretty pissed them off, but it was a genuine question, right? But they were, I think it was an atheist Satanist. That's what it was, an atheist Satanist. And I didn't know what it was. I generally didn't know what it was. And I asked them about if you're an atheist Satanist or it was something to do with God as well. And I said, well, if you're an atheist, you don't believe in God. Like, I'm like, how do you guys work? And then it was that kind of way where they took offence and see because I told them I was a paranormal investigator, that made it 10 times worse.
Yeah, they should never have taken offence to you asking a question.
That's how you learn, isn't it?
That's how you learn. and maybe it was the group that you found weren't, because there's so many different varying forms of Satanism.
It's the same as well when I tackled, because I used to do articles for Scottish Ghost Adventurers Forum. I used to do like things, and I thought, right, I'd start doing specials, right? So I done an English special, did a Scottish special, did haunted asylums, beaches, woods, everything. And I thought,
Yeah.
right, one particular night I decided that I would do like Satanism, occultism, dark magic. The response was brilliant. People were actually saying, we actually like this because you don't get it rammed down your throat. It's and they really respected it. But the sorest point that I ever touched on was Scientology. When I did the subject about Scientology, the response I got wasn't very nice. I'll put it that way. Alright. But I think I offended one woman because I had dived into the whole Scientology thing. But it was an interest. See, when I'm interested in something, I've got to know about it. So
Do you know
I've
what?
got to read
My
it.
husband used to go in to the Church of Scientology in England, in London, the
Hmm.
big one. He used to go in there to fix their photocopier for his work,
That's a
and he
nice
used to go.
building, that, isn't it?
Yeah, he used to go in there. He was made to stay at the reception, and then he would get escorted into the back offices. He got taken to where the photocopier was. Somebody stood over him while he fixed the machine, and then he would be escorted straight out. So when Andy'd go, oh, I'm going to the Church of Scientology today to go and fix their photocopier, I said, get me some literature. Get me some literature. I'm really interested. Get me some literature. So he said, he went in there. He said, have you got some literature that I could take for my wife about the Church of Scientology? And so they made him pay. I don't know how much he paid. I think it was about a tenner. They made him pay a tenner, and they said, right, give her this DVD. I've got the DVD somewhere. I've never ever watched it.
That's a
I've
tenner
never
well
watched
spent.
it. Yeah. But it is really interesting though. Just one day I will. I think I've got to be in the right frame of mind, because they've had so much bad press. But there must be some other side to it, like William Southey says. If we don't understand it,
Hmm.
how are we supposed to like it? Do you know what I mean? If we don't understand it, truly understand it, and ask questions, but
That's what I love. I love, do you know what? I love being that type of person that will challenge something and I want to know about it. And do you know, there's a really, really great thing that you guys should watch. It's called Religious, and it's with Bill Maher. It's a guy that's hated in America because he challenges religion.
yeah,
And he did this documentary,
Oh, I
and
know Bill Maher. Yeah, I
I
know of
I
him. Yeah.
I I I'll tell you, I couldn't stop laughing. But one of the things that he turned around and said, he says, and it always stuck in my head. And I went to like a Catholic school when I was younger, like primary school, and it always stuck in my head was, you know what, you see, Jesus as a baby, and you see him as like an adult, but what the hell was he doing in the middle in his teenage years? And Bill Maher said about him, well, I'll not say what Bill Maher said because obviously it's what Highway Show, but I do recommend you guys watch it because you will see yourself laughing from beginning to end.
oh,
What
yeah, I
Gary
think,
says.
yeah, put it back
Sorry,
up.
I just got that. What Gary says about Crowley, he was intelligent. I
Yeah, he
don't know about
was.
that, Gary, but I do
I'm sure he
know
was. Aye.
that that was Gerald Gardner. Gerald Gardner,
Joe
was it?
Gardner. Yeah,
He was doing something with a group of them. They were using energies or something to turn the winds against Germany, or something. The weather, to turn the weather patterns against Germany. I don't know if it worked or not, but yeah, I know that was Gerald Gardner that was involved in that. There was a coven,
yeah,
and they were turning the winds against Germany. But Germany,
yeah.
big, the Third Reich, big into the occult. All of them.
Do you know? Do you know in the German, the Nazi occult stuff that was never found? Wouldn't it be absolutely amazing to get your hands on that and to read firsthand what they were doing with the occult? Because I know a lot of it. the stuff that they did was very secret and underground anyway. But there were records, and they were keeping records, and they had some artifacts. They were doing a lot more, and I know that it just all of a sudden disappeared. Now it couldn't have just gone nowhere. Then somebody
But
must have that.
they had Turks, didn't they? And they also had Arabs and that were like they were
Right.
Waffen SS,
Yeah.
Waffen SS units, and what they do, and they were using them. They didn't know we could work out what the hell they were doing all that, but what they were doing, they were traveling all over the Middle East to see if they could find any of the artifacts from the Bible and from the occult, because obviously they wanted to utilize it.
Yeah.
An
Yeah, it's
interesting
interesting,
one is
It is
Carl
interesting.
Jung. Carl Jung did a book
Brilliant.
on psychology and the occult. That's an interesting one. That's one of the
Carl
books I
Jung,
would love to.
brilliant.
Hi, Gary.
Hi, you Gary.
I like Gary. He's a nice guy. I like both Garys, actually, but Gary Bradfield is my boyfriend. Let's not get this mixed up. Bradfield, the boyfriend. Gary Field's just a nice guy.
There you go.
Yep.
So yeah, it's an interesting subject, isn't it? So you're always going to have people that are. I mean, I don't feel like I'm in a position to pass comment on a lot of them, because I don't know that much about them, but
No.
they're interesting people nonetheless, and they're very what's the word? They're big personalities.
Oh God.
Right, question for you. You can only choose one person in the paranormal, so ghost hunting side, okay? Who is the one person, anyone dead or alive, icon that you look up to and have actually learnt something from their work?
Harry Price. Don't you go far from me, do
I know you.
Harry Price.
I know you.
Harry Price.
Lois.
Again, it would be Jacqueline. Spending that time with Jacqueline, and listening to Jacqueline a lot. That she's been really good, and she's actually helped me a lot with podcasts as well, because I used to be quite shy when I was doing my podcast, because I used to do some for SGA and then I kind of stopped it because it was my anxiety. But then when Jacqueline asked me to come on board with her and let's do a podcast, I was like kind of so when I mean, I'm honest and open about this. See, when she used to say to me, we're getting these guests, and I don't know if it's just the way that I think. Like, it would be like, Are You Haunted? Right, we had Are You Haunted one night, and I kept having, I was having a meltdown, because I'm thinking, oh my God, they're like, people know them. I've never ever spoke to them. I'm going to sound like dead, like crap. I don't know what I'm talking about, sort of thing. But they turned out to be like the most nicest down to people, like ever. Same as you guys. I used to watch you guys, but I used to be dead shy about saying hi and things like that, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, oh.
And now you know. You think,
and now we're just a load of knobs.
bunch of idiots, yeah.
And then I'll be like that. They're freaking lovely. I just love them. And now look, I'm on your shows regular. So what can I say? I must be doing something right.
Gary says,
Gary knows me.
They're price.
You know what? It's got so bad, right? Hazel said to me, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I said, "Oh, it's like because we always talk about what do you want? Is there anything special?" Because and I said, "Yeah, I want to get. I want to go on to. I want to go on to these where you change your name.
Yeah.
And I want to get Harry put in my name.
Oh my God.
Or Harry Price. So I can have Harry Price.
Why, Dan? Why don't you just get Dirty Harry and be
Dirty Harry? But yeah, I thought, I might do that. I don't know.
Do you know who mine is, Dan?
Who? Go on.
Maurice Grosse.
Of course, it's Maurice Grosse. How did I not remember that? Of course, it's Maurice Grosse.
Gross.
Now I've got a lot. I like Maurice Grosse.
I had a lot of respect for him because he was like me. He came into the paranormal side not knowing much about paranormal, and he learnt on the job exactly what I did. Learnt on the job.
The man turned out a genius, didn't he? Superb.
Yeah. So anyone that doesn't know who Maurice Grosse is, look at the Enfield haunting. Do your research then, and you'll find out who Maurice Grosse is.
The man's a legend. Man's a legend.
Absolute. And just and down
Same as
to
Guy
earth.
Lyons Playfair, another legend.
Yeah.
Him and Morris, they were like Tweedledum and Tweedledee, weren't they? The pair of them. They
But
were
you know what? Maurice
mates.
Grosse, people with their moustache and beards, right? Maurice Grosse had the best full moustache, big tash, and it came out and he would twiddle the ends and, you know, and he just looked like a typical English gentleman.
He was ex-RAF, I think, wasn't he?
I think
I
so.
think he was ex-RAF.
Well, I was actually going to say it looks like a 70s, well,
Oh, right. Question to Dan. Not including Harry Price. I'm stuffed then, aren't I? Pick 3 people dead or alive for your paranormal team. Oh, that's a hard one, isn't it?
There was silence.
That's a hard. I mean, I've got to go with Viv, haven't I? Because, like, yeah, Viv without a shadow of a doubt.
Get in.
I don't know him. I know of him, and I know his work, and I admire him. And he's only a young guy, and I just think hasn't he got a professorship or something? A guy called Cal Cooper.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would love to talk
the
to him.
parapsychologist.
Yeah.
I love his work. I love his work.
Guy.
Yeah, I love his work. I love the way that he's matter of fact about it, and that you know he
third person.
Oh, third person.
She got me working with Cal Cooper.
Cal Cooper.
I'll be rowing with him, wouldn't I? I'd be going,
We've got 3
right.
dead or alive, eh?
Yeah.
Dead or alive.
One more.
Ross Allison.
Really?
Yeah.
But what about you, Lois?
I love Ross Allison. And I think the thing with Ross Allison is he's forward thinking.
Yeah.
And he's so good at what he does. What about you, Lois?
Famous person, right? Well, first of all,
it doesn't have to be famous. It's 3 people dead or alive.
3 people. Well, first of all, I've got to take my paranormal boyfriend with me, so that would be Dan.
Hey!
I couldn't leave Viv, so that would be Viv.
Hey!
And then my third one, who would be my third one? I would probably take
Not Parker.
No, Parker's at home watching the animals.
That's true. That's true. That is true.
My third one would have to be Wes Coleman.
Wes Coleman?
What does he do?
He's the Canadian that's always on Facebook. He does the paranormal investigation over in Canada.
Okay.
You probably
I don't think I've heard of the guy.
No.
I have to look him up now.
Yeah.
Wait now. I've probably said his name wrong. Wait now to go into my Facebook and I'll log on because I've got him on my friends list. But he's really, really good. How much would you bet if I did say his name wrong? 2 minutes to get on my Facebook.
Gary, I'm going to turn this on you. Who would you have in your team, Gary? Who would you have, mate?
Aye. Wes Coleman, I was right. He's a paranormal enthusiastic and empathic. He's a really good guy, really interesting guy.
Do you know who I'd have? Do you know who my 3 would be? I would have Bobo.
Yeah, you have got to have Bobo.
I'd have Bobo from Finding Bigfoot, and he's the
one
that does
Bobo.
all the woo. He does all the calls.
Have Bobo.
So I'd have Bobo, just because it'd be so funny, and he's so cool and laid back.
And he's massive.
He don't rush for nothing. He just takes his time and he's chilled. And
he's about 18 foot tall, isn't he? He's a big guy.
So his name's James Bobo Fay. So I'd have Bobo. He'd be my first person that I would have.
Love that man. Brilliant.
The second person I would have would be Ad Balgis, from
Oh
Holland.
my God, I just love him.
So if anything, everything's all cracking off and it's all getting a bit hectic and ghosts are coming out, Ad would be the one to say, "Now, Vivian, you've got a face looking like a wet blanket. Calm down. Calm down." You know, I just love Ad. He's
Is
so funny.
brilliant.
So it'd be Bobo, Ad. Those two would be such a funny
Oh,
combination.
that'd be amazing.
And a third person on my team, just because he just says it how it is, he doesn't like bullshit or anything like that. I suppose I would take David Oman.
Yes.
I would take David Oman, but no, I think David Oman and Ad would row with each other all night. So I'd have to keep them.
But that'd be worth getting. That'd be worth going for anyway.
So
and if it got a bit boring and there was nothing happened, you would have got David Oman going, "Oh, you want to hear what he said about you?"
But that would be my three, just because it'd be so funny.
It'd be brilliant. It'd be like Larry, Cully, and Mo, wouldn't it?
I'd sell tickets. Come on, investigation. Watch these two now and listen to Bobo call for the wild.
Oh, Bobo.
I'm absolutely laughing at Gary. Look at his response.
Oh,
with Harry Price.
Oh, nice, nice.
And Richard Felix.
I've been investigating with Richard. Oh my God, it wasn't. It was messy. There was alcohol involved because there was a bar.
No, I don't believe a word of that.
We just let them go off and investigate, and we'll prop the bar up. That was the night.
Holy spirits.
And I don't drink that often. Let me just add that. And I think another person I'd like to add, if I could add a fourth person, would be Ashley Waterhouse.
Ashley's a good lad.
Yeah, Ashley Waterhouse, and
Ashley's a good lad. Ashley, good lad.
Doesn't believe in nothing, so he'd be the skeptic of the crowd.
Yeah, no, he's a good lad. Is Ash.
I always think it's good to have a skeptic on the team because then you can have that debunking the debunking side there, and obviously
hide the red wine. No, he was drinking Schultz when I last saw him last.
Wow.
I'd just be the one making tea. I'll tell you a quick story, Lois. You'll laugh at this. We took a guy called Ross Allison to meet Richard at Derby Jail. They were in this lovely meeting. There's me and Dan. We walked in with Ross. And he's like, welcomed us. He sat us down and he says, "Oh, do you want a tea or coffee?" So he's asking everyone what they wanted. And then he turned to me, staring at me, and I goes to him, "You want me to make them, don't you?" He goes, "Yes, could you do that for me, please?"
Well, Jamie is he's very obvious by his absence this evening.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah, I was actually going to say it. I thought Parker was coming. No, that
he's had a rough. He's had a rough week, the old boy, isn't he? I think, bless him.
Well, I will read this message out word for word. I sent him a message. "Are you coming on?" He put, "Sorry, I had shit at home." Oh, I thought he said he had a shit at home. And he said he's just seen his
that as well.
So I think he's like looking after his son and stuff like that.
He's been knackered. He's been burning the candle at both ends work-wise, isn't he? Bless him.
Well,
you do graft that boy.
It's been a good night even anyway. It's been some laugh. It actually has.
No, I think actually it's better without Jamie. I don't really. I miss Jamie. I love Jamie. I miss him to bits.
Do you know what? Jamie's number would be 0 when he comes on here. 0 point.
0 Parker.
Oh, I think he's so funny.
He is. He is funny. I love Jamie. He's great. Well, we've done an hour and 20.
We've done well. We are supposed to be on for an hour.
I've kept you yapping. Just blame me.
That's been great. It's been absolutely brilliant.
And I hoped everyone enjoyed the intro. I sort of knocked that up together quickly this afternoon because
as soon as I saw it come on, I thought Biz been piss balls about with computer software again.
I absolutely love that. I think it's well cool.
It's Friday night disco night, so if you're out investigating, and do you remember Mr. Bones? Leave the alcohol behind and just make sure
Oh God,
that you stay safe.
yeah.
Just be careful. So, you got any last words, Dan?
Yeah, don't touch the alcohol. Have a very lovely, safe weekend. Enjoy it with your loved ones. Enjoy whatever you're doing, and just love each other and be kind to each other. That's it, really.
Lois, anything from you?
Have a double for me.
Oh yes, and Jamie's the tosser.
And Jamie's an arse for not coming on.
Yes.